Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is Thursday. Thursday is a great day, and I'm excited to share with you guys a couple of thoughts today. But before I do that, I just want to say congratulations if you are fasting. Good job. Keep it up. You can do this. Keep going. You can make it. You can do it. All right. So I know for us, we're kind of finishing up our first what is it, fourth day? We started on Monday, so fourth day. So keep it up, keep going. If you saw the post I gave this morning, was number one rule of fasting is don't talk about fasting. Well, I kind of broke that, so sorry about that. But hey, want to share with you guys a thought today, which is this: is who do you need to connect with this year? Who do you need to connect with this year? I know we talk a lot about goals. We talk a lot about where you're going, what do you want to achieve, what do you want to accomplish this year, what direction you want to go in. But also a thought is, who do you need to connect with? Okay, so a big part of connecting or reaching goals, growing, developing, is connecting with the right people. And so one thought is, who do you need to connect with this year to help you get there? All right, to expand your influence, expand your growth. Who do you need to connect with? All right. So I want you to think about this, kind of an exercise. You can get out a pen, a paper, just kind of write this down. So where does that person hang out? All right. So maybe in your community, it's a physical spot, right? Maybe it's the Rotary Club, right? Maybe, you want to connect with principals of a school. Maybe it's a Rotary Club. Maybe it's the PTA. Sorry about that. But where do these people hang out? You want to connect with, maybe a leader of a certain ministry. Well, maybe there's a ministries alliance or prayer gathering. Maybe you need to start going to be a part of that. What social networks are these guys a part of? Maybe you can get a part of them. So there's some interesting ways. So for example, there's some smaller social media, even like fitness type social media apps like Strava or Garmin. Some of these that are a lot smaller, a lot more niche, right? So maybe the person you want to connect with is on one of those networks, and so maybe on Instagram or Facebook, they've got, a couple thousand, they got maybe 1 million followers, but on there, maybe they only have, 100, 200, 300, something like that. And so your probability of maybe connecting with them is higher. Plus, it's a little bit more niche, right? Like, hey, we both run. And so you can maybe comment on some of their runs or leave a comment on their bike rides, something like that. And so it can maybe get you in a little bit differently through the masses of DMs that they get on these other networks. And a lot of them have kind of like turned those availabilities off on social media networks like Facebook and Instagram, things like that. So where they hang out, where are they at on social media? Another question here is, who are some people that maybe that might know them? So that might be able to make an introduction for you. Maybe you can kind of trail, there's that old 5 degrees of separation, right? Like, everyone's connected to Kevin Bacon within like 5 degrees of separation, right? Or, you can connect to anybody within like 5 degrees of connections. And so like who is somebody that might be able to connect you with these people that you need to connect with? Maybe you can just do a Google search for their name or the ministry that they run or the organization that they run, and see if maybe there's an opportunity there. Is there a way to maybe start listening to their podcast and making comments about that podcast, and maybe even quoting them with a tag on there and connecting with that way? What blogs are they a part of? And maybe you can enter through blogs. And so thinking through, so the first thing I want you to do is to make a list of who are some of the big people that you want to connect with. It doesn't have to be famous, but these are people that would really help you accomplish your goals. These are people that would really help you move the needle forward in terms of like maybe your influence. So make a list of you can say like your dream 100, right? And these are the top 100 people that I'd love to meet this year that would really help me in my ministry, in my personal life, at home, wherever it might be. These are people that could really help me. And make that list, and then begin to fill out, where do these people hang out? What blogs are they reading? And how can I connect to these people to get maybe some little deeper level access to them? Maybe an introduction, and maybe some kind of a conversation. Also, it's really big to consider yourself a connector and not just a networker. Okay. A connector, somebody that adds value to that person. Okay. So, one of the best ways to connect with people is to add value to them. So you're going to ask yourself, how can I add value to this person? Right? Not just how can I take, or how can I get, but how can I add value to them? Is there a way for me to add value to their podcast? Is there a way for me to add value to their ministry? Is there a way for me to add value to their blog? Is there a way for me to add value to whatever their business, whatever it might be? How can I add value to them and what they're trying to accomplish, and not just how can I get something from them? So continually asking yourself, okay, I've got this person, where are they at? How can I connect with them? How can I add value to them? And that is going to be one of the best ways for you to try and be able to connect with that person, is when you can begin to find ways for you to have an introduction, or slowly creep your way in through, not creep your way in to maybe a conversation over social media, or through a blog post, or through maybe even a conversation at an event, right? And so I've met some people just by going to some smaller events, as opposed to the big conference where there's 1,000 people, but maybe going to you're spending a little extra money maybe to go to a networking event where maybe there's only 50 people, and you go up and talk to that person because they're in a little bit more of a open environment, and start a conversation and have some questions ready to go that, for example, when I met Kerry Newhoff at a pastor's luncheon that he was speaking at, hey, I just gave him some softball questions, not super hard. Hey, he's really big into the Enneagram. At the time, he had just posted a podcast with talking about the Enneagram. And so I just kind of talked to him a little bit about that and said, hey, how's the Enneagram helped you or shaped you, that kind of thing. And just appreciate your ministry, your blog, your podcast. That's another thing you can do, is talk about how what they have done has impacted you, and say, hey, I want to say thank you for your ministry. I want to say thank you for what you've done, and quote it, not just generic, be specific. Hey, this podcast episode really helped me, or this blog part, or this sermon, or this ministry that you're doing, or your business has helped us in certain ways. And here's how we can add value, and want to say thank you to that. So a couple of thoughts. Who do you need to connect with this year to help you improve, help you reach your goals, help you move the ball forward? So would love to hear some thoughts on how you want to connect with somebody.